What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about B3 today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 10th day of May today. Here we are, 21 hours, 15 minutes left in the day. Up a good bit over the past 2 days, 17% on Thursday. Yesterday, Friday, 14%, with a grand total over the past 2 days that took you, I guess from the low to the high, at least to today. That's a 40% growth. Not bad. Not bad, B3. And you're looking, what's great about this is you're not looking like you're done here. Yes, you are at a prior area of resistance, kind of at a turbulent zone here. You're at the point in your RSI where you could reject the overbought zone, but really what I see this is a moment where you rejected the overbought zone before, you came down, found support, and now you're trying to actually get through and penetrate into that overbought zone, alongside coinciding with the fact that you're about to break out of this here. And I think that you actually are. That volume that you experienced yesterday was a bit above average. It was some of the most volume that you've seen since March. Actually, it was the second highest day in volume since March that you've seen. And it came with a higher close outside of this overall range. I think you're in the middle of a breakout move right now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If that is true, then you will continue rather immediately. Today's going to be a rather good day for the B3ers out there, and I think that it will. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? That's the question that some people might be asking, is where are we going to go? First, before we get to that, let's validate the idea that we are going up and that we're not going to find some resistance here, okay? Because if you do find resistance, it's very possible you could do, some kind of M pattern or something, go below these lows. We don't want to see that. So let's just see if we can validate that we do look good and that we do want to go higher. So the 1 hour time frame here, looking at the 1 hour RSI, to me, it looks super bullish. Yeah, we rejected the overbought zone, little double top there, and that's okay. Maybe you go down, to start the day. It's just the 1 hour. So, by the end of the day, this thing can have some resolution. The end of the day, it's the 10th today, so the end of the day is all the way over here. You could go down and then up. You can have a whole party by the end of the day. So who cares if you go lower? I think that you will. You'll probably bounce off the 50. When you reject off the overbought zone, it's very common to bounce off the 50 or the 40. So look for either of those two areas. Ideally, you'd want to bounce off the 60, but you had that try and you didn't do it. So I think 50 or 40 is where we're going to go. That would imply a little bit lower prices, but that certainly does not mean that you're rejecting here. And I don't think that you will reject here. Volume's building as you're coming up. Volume decays as you're dropping. I don't think that you're done. You're just kind of moving sideways, consolidating flat. I like this. Low to high here, bouncing right off the 236. You're looking really strong. You really are. What I will ask of you, B3, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, don't go below 00555. If you go below there, to any degree, really, you're probably going to unlock the possibility to go down to 0.05285, if not even down to prices that are below 0.005 itself. So the 382 or the golden ratio become activated targets when you get below 0.00555. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that. Not just on a closing basis, but on a wicking basis altogether. Like, don't do that, okay? Hold your ground. Hold your ground here. It's okay if you wick a little bit below, but when I say a little bit, like not even that much, like a little bit, you know what I mean? Any lower than that, it really does up the chances that you go just below this 382, if not all the way down to the golden ratio. So avoid that by holding here, or even better, moving up. But looking at the current 1 hour trajectory, to me, it would make sense that you go down a little bit. And that's fine. Go down a little bit, but just don't go down too much. You know what I mean? 4 hour time frame here, if we're looking at this, 4 hour RSI looks phenomenal. Very, very dominant. I love the volume. I love everything about it. It looks very dominant. Just you're not ready to go higher just yet. And that's fine. That is fine. It's the weekend, whatever. Bearish divergence at the top. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to go down. Though the bearish divergence at the top here did lead to some consolidation for a couple of days. Oh, and if you notice, look at this. You ran up here on Thursday. Okay, I guess Friday was a down day. I was going to say you ran up at the end of the week, kind of like you did here, but then you moved sideways over the weekend. And then once the week began, that's whenever you started moving up. Kind of an interesting perspective there. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. My thoughts are you're probably just beginning this move, and maybe what you do see is some kind of consolidation over the weekend, or at least today, and then we do progress higher. The 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame didn't really help me decide if you're moving higher immediately or not. If I have to be honest, the 4 hour makes me think you tried to move higher immediately and you just couldn't. So unless you pull a miracle out of your butt over the next 1 hour and 11 minutes and you defy what the 1 hour is telling us right now, the 1 hour time frame, and you just move up right now, other than that, I think that you would pull back. Again, the goal is to not go below 0.00555, but I am kind of under the impression that you're going to do that. I mean, it is the weekend, so probably you do pull back to 0.00528 to 0.0488. Get prepared for that. If I'm wrong, and see, this is why I'm glad I did this first, because I don't want to talk about higher targets and get people excited unless it's unless it's looking like it's a likelihood. And it is looking like a likelihood inevitably. It's looking like a likelihood on the daily time frame, but on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, which pertains more to the coming days, it looks more like you're probably going to cool off a little bit. Now on the daily time frame, you probably do pull back, right? That's the expectation as of now. You probably do pull back a little bit relative to this. I don't think you're going to have a double top. I don't think that you're going to go below this low personally, but it might have that look for a second. And then going into next week, that's whenever we'll start to move up. Whenever you do move up, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I could be wrong, right? And if I'm wrong now and we don't move down, then we're just going to keep moving up today. I mean, I'll tell you what, if today closes green, if we close above yesterday's closing price, if we close, it doesn't even have to be like a significant day, 4%, 5% up, something like that or more, then everything that I'm calling for to the downside is wrong and we're just moving up immediately. But from a low to a high, as of now, I do expect that we go to 0.00528 or probably just below there, if not all the way down to 0.00488 or somewhere around there. That's kind of the expectation at the moment, okay? Whenever it does come time to moving higher, and it will be soon enough that we move higher, from a high to a low here, the expectation would be that we interact with or encounter prices that are around 0.065, 0.073, 0.009, all these kind of areas here, something and anything and everything in between, right? I don't think that we're just going to make a straight shot up all the way, but I would expect that we find resistance somewhere between 0.073 to probably, I don't know if we make it quite as high as 0.009, but I think we could reach, something in this area, 0.00825 to 0.00728. Something in this zone seems appropriate. So I think that's where the move's going to take you overall. Inevitably, you're going to consolidate, right? And that's let's see, if we look at this here, what that would be calling for is a move up that's like another 26%, maybe 30, 40%. Perhaps we see that next week or something. And then we consolidate a little bit further. And then we continue to run. The expectation is, that might be our next stopping point, much like this was our last stopping point, right? But I don't think it's going to stop you forever. And I think by the end of the month, you'll be much higher. Going into June, if not at the end of the month of May, you'll be at your all-time highs or above there. And I certainly do expect that in the month of June, you'll see new all-time highs. Whenever it comes to new all-time highs, high to low here, hold on. When it comes to new all-time highs, from the high to low here, the expectation would be that you go up to about 3.2 cents to 6.15 cents, okay? Here we are right now at about 0.00577, right? From this price all the way up to that minimum target, that's about a 5.6x to potentially something that's on the lines of about like a 7x and 8x, something in that kind of area. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what we saw. Could you go higher? Could you go all the way up to 6 cents? Sure. That's about a 10x from the current price. I could see it happening, but that's about the limit of what I would expect. So, and any of these targets are possible, I suppose, right? None are really more possible than the others at this point in time. If I had a favorite, I would just stick right into the middle here with the 1-for-1-4. Oftentimes you do go a little bit above there, so 4.2 cents. Let's just say maybe you go up to like 4.5 cents, something like that. Yeah. Which would be an overall 8x from here, right? Overall, it's going to be a lot larger of a move. You're going to be moving, overall from the low to high, that's a 15x overall. 8x from here, that's the expectation. Something between 3.23 cents to 6.1 cents. I'm saying that out loud, and I'm like, maybe you do go higher. That doesn't sound like it's enough, but maybe it is. I don't know. What's the market cap of this thing here? Hold on. Coin market cap. Let's see here. Come on now. Normally I have it pulled up. I don't know why I didn't have it pulled up today. Let's see, B3. And the internet is slow for whatever reason. It's being very slow today. Let me see. Is my computer on? It is. It is on optimal mode, so I don't know why. Anyways, yeah, the volume's nice. The market cap's low enough. I suppose, yeah, you really could see a move that's greater than a 10x, even from the current price with B3. It's very, very possible. But I think an 8x, 8 times 1.2, what is it? That'd be 8. That'd almost be a $1 billion market cap. That's about right. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this area here will provide about a $1 billion market cap for B3. That might make sense. That might be where you find resistance. So I actually really do like that area. I'm going to say 4.2 to 5 cents, somewhere in that zone. That's where I think you find resistance by the end of June, if not early July. If you go higher, 6 cents, 6.2 cents would be a likely area to stop at, but you could rally all the way up to 10 cents. You never know, man. You never know when these crazy moves happen. It always happens in alt season. It always happens in crypto bull runs, right? Where these things outperform what you expect them to do. And if you were to do that, your true moon boy targets by the end of June, if not very early July, would be something on the lines of like 10 cents to 12.5 cents. I think you'll get there. I just don't think that it's going to be by the end of June, early July. I think it's going to be later in the cycle. But that's all I got for you guys. I hope you liked the video. Good looks, B3. Just you probably don't continue right away. We were looking for that. I was hoping that we'd get that, but because it's the weekend, I think that you will have a little stop. You'll probably just consolidate right around this area at the top of the zone instead of pulling back, showing that this isn't a place to reject, but it's a place to wind up and then break out from starting next week. That'd be my expectation. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.